Welcome to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, and also brought to you by Surdike Yamaha, MoDOT, Buckle Up, Phones Down, Hedges Scott Millard Funeral Homes, and Slumberland Furniture. So we are here at Osage, home of the Indians, Coach Shannon, Jolley. And Coach, big win on Friday night. You improved to 4-1 as you pretty much manhandled California Friday.
We had a lot of good things that went on that game. I mean, you and I talked a little bit. We were a little disappointed in some areas, but I think everybody gets tired of when people win, they don't want to hear that. We were proud to win. We came home excited about being 4-1, but you know, there's always those things. So offensively this week, it was that thing for us. We turned the ball over a little bit. We had some drops in our passing game, so definitely things to work on, but super proud of our kids.
It's got to be a good thing, I would think, as a coach, when you win big, 30-7, and you come home and you're really not too happy with the way you played.
Yeah, it's good for my family, and it's good for the weekend when you've won a football game.
Coach is happy,
regardless of anything else. But when you look inside, player-wise and coach-wise, you know, you get into week 5 and you're kind of getting a little bit impatient, thinking, hey, we got to go, we got to get these pieces put together. So, but yeah, I mean, to be 4-1 right now, a couple years ago, and especially, you know, 3 years ago, we'd have been super excited about it. So it's just the expectations now have been reset, which I'm completely fine with. We just have higher expectations of our level of play. But winning football games is the it's the expectation right now.
Yeah, absolutely. What good did you see? What did you like from the defense Friday?
Our defense killed it. They're a triple option team. You got to be patient and match up and the dive and the quarterback and the pitch and California does a good job of running the options. So, you know, they're struggling right now. They've got some injuries and stuff, but our defense absolutely did an amazing job this week of executing the game plan and continue to put our offense in good situations that, unfortunately for us, as I mentioned, we didn't take advantage of.
Yeah, and they scored 7, but that wasn't on the defense, right?
Yeah, we blocked a punt, and if you watch the film, it'd be hard to believe. Drake Williams, who did almost everything else Friday night, you know, those players sometimes, the mental breakdown is we had an edge rusher on the punt team just come off unblocked. Like, I mean, you see it was like he was almost invisible. And so, you know, those are things you don't want them to happen, but you're kind of glad they happen in a way. So, and then you're like, hey, this happened to us once, so let's prepare. You can only do so much of like, hey, this could happen, but when it does happen, it's more impactful and it's easier to kind of move forward.
Yeah. So this is your 4th year, I think, here at Osage. Program has obviously been turned around, 4-1, but it's not just the varsity team, it's the program from top to bottom. How is that looking right now?
Well, the cool part about Saturdays now for us and Mondays is, you know, we've got our youth programs, our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade play on Saturdays. And I'm getting calls from those coaches. We've got about 100 kids participating in that program, tackle football. And then our middle school had great numbers this year where we're over 60 kids in there. So, you know, the whole sum of it is when you put everything together, you know, we're 250 to 300 kids playing football within our school district, and that's exciting for me, and they're having a lot of success.
That's different from before you came. You've kind of helped build that program, build that excitement around here.
Well, it's having I think the maturity and the knowledge to understand that those feeder programs, it's kind of delayed gratification, but if you don't have your nose in those, and if you're not going to those games and paying attention to those guys, you'll lose track, and we want to track those kids all the way through vertically as they get up into high school. And it's nice to know them also when you go watch them play and be able to communicate with them and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and that's pretty important too. Any really good high school program, whether it's basketball, football, or whatever, they have those feeder systems going. They set those up, and that feeds for the future.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised. We have some tremendous youth coaches and middle school coaches, and so to develop personal relationships with those guys even means more, because I know they're going to pour more into our kids because our program's important to them.
Absolutely. Another big road game for the Indians this week. We'll talk about that with Coach Jolley when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of our fall home sale, and what's that mean for you? Great discounts for every room of your house. We've got up to 50% off of list pricing. And we're going to give you interest-free financing for up to 24 months if you choose. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area. Come check us out, Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, talking with Coach Shannon Jolley here at Osage. The Indians coming off a big win last week at California, another road game this week at Hallsville. This is a long trip, probably your longest conference trip of the year. Does that make a difference for a game when a trip is longer?
On the way home, it does.
Yeah, if you win or lose.
If you win or lose,
yeah.
You kind of want to get home, but not really. I mean, we've traveled, and we've traveled to Branson this summer. We do those things, and we went to St. Louis last year. I mean, our kids travel well, so that's just not been an issue. But just going up there in a different environment, sometimes that's a positive, and it kind of gets kids out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Good chance to bring the team together too with that. So this Hallsville team started off slow, but they've won their last 2 games, so they're on a bit of a roll, and they always play hard-nosed football. Yeah,
no, it's going to be a good game, and they play. It's always a difficult game at their place. For what reason, I'm not sure I understand, but I know our kids. They play well at home, and so I know they'll be excited, and they're doing some good things this year.
Yeah, what do they do on offense that you're going to need to slow down?
I think they throw the ball a lot. They'll probably throw the ball more than anybody that we see this year, and so that's guys getting in space and making plays. And anytime people throw the ball, there's always a chance of bigger plays. I think like we seen at the end of the game last week with Jason Colonius going about 75 yards on a simple screen play. There's always that chance. And so that puts a tall task on our defense.
And how about your offense? What would you like to see from them Friday night?
We've got to take a little bit of ownership in more of explosive plays. And I think our kids sometimes get satisfied with doing some of the small things. It's just an expectation of wanting more to create more explosive plays and bigger plays. But it's, again, 2 fumbles in 2 weeks is too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty disappointed about, and that's my position group, the running backs. So I take a lot of pride in us protecting the football. So that'll be a big part of it as well.
How do you work on that? Do you have the kids walk around school all week carrying a football, or what do you do?
Well, that was popular in the movie, and I think people still do that. But then you get balls being thrown in English class and people knocking the ball out all day, so it becomes a distraction. No, we just really emphasize it in practice. Talk about having one hand to two hand and being able to change the football. It's a skill. Mm-hmm. So it's something that you practice and you work on.
Okay, so we're just about midway through the regular season anyway. Where is this team in your eyes? Are they where you want them to be? Are they a little bit behind where you want them to be? Ahead of where are they?
They're not where I want them to be, but it's not because they haven't worked hard or they're just, it's like they're making huge mistakes. I'm just ready for them to take over. I think player-led teams, when it's kind of like I always talk to them when you're driving, hey, you take the wheel. Once you take the wheel and you're teaching somebody to drive, then they can take off. And I think that's what we're waiting for, and we're going to talk a little bit about that this week about hey, guys, you guys have done it. This is your investment. Coaches are a part of it, but, man, this is your deal. And so hopefully this week we'll see our kids kind of like, hey, I got a coach is handing this off to us.
Yeah.
And I think it's more important when you get out on the field and your coaches can't be out there. I think it helps a ton.
Absolutely. So Osage 4-1 Friday night at Hallsville. Coming up next, we go over to Camdenton, talk with Coach Parpitz about what the Lakers have coming up this week. They're also on the road. Really tough game. Don't go anywhere.
Being close to the water makes you more you. It's where the great unknown brings clarity. And letting go is how you really get going. Because only when you're on a Yamaha Wave Runner do you truly discover what you're made of.
Visit Surdyke Yamaha at Lake of the Ozarks, 50 years strong.
It's already week 6 of the high school football season. This Friday night, Versailles takes on the Clinton Cardinals. The Tigers lost a thriller at Clinton last year. Can they return the favor this time around? Let's find out. It all starts with a COMC pregame show at 6:30 Friday night. Kickoff set for 7, presented by Polylift Boat Lifts. Join us for the fun Friday night, Clinton at for Sales on Lake TV.
Hi, honey. It's your mom. I know you're probably working, but I just saw on the news that 3 people die in car crashes every day in Missouri. I just think about you driving around and it makes me so worried. So buckle your seatbelt, don't look at your phone, and don't speed. And I know you know this, but please always drive sober. You're a good kid, just be safe, okay? Mom loves you. Okay, bye.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. As you can see, we've made our way to Camdenton. We're here on the practice field, home of the Lakers. Coach Parpitt's here, and it's a good week because it's a winning week. You come off a nice win on the road at Battle last week, and you shut them out.
Yeah, it was a good night for Lakers. We played real well on defense, got things going on offense, just enough to be able to be in control. The positive, we were balanced. We were able to run the ball effectively, and we were able to throw the ball in a good fashion.
Yeah, absolutely, coming up with enough to win. The defense seems like it has really come together, especially since that Branson game where they struggled a little bit. Are you pleased with the way the defense has come along?
Yeah, the progress that we're making up front, our defensive line's really playing well. You know, our linebackers are doing their jobs, and so it's all those things really help us get in the position where we stop the run. Once you stop the run, then you have a chance to be able to figure things out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the other side, the offense, you basically said they did just about enough to win. Are you pleased with their progress, or are you wanting to see more there?
Well, I think the positive was we were able to run the ball and get some first downs, and that sort of takes some pressure off of the defense as well. So that was one of the things we wanted to do. We're always trying to make dynamic plays, and so we've got to continue to build with that so we can stretch the field. But, you know, primarily we wanted to get in there and run the ball and sort of control the clock there.
Right. So a switch of conferences this year. So we've got a whole bunch of new teams, very few of the old teams on the schedule, and we talked last week about kind of makes it harder to prepare because you really haven't seen them a lot before. Do you find your guys are bigger than average in this league, smaller than average in this conference? How is that parsing out?
Well, so far, we've been the smaller of the two teams in every one of our games, I would say. That's part of it. There were some times that was the way it was in the Ozarks Conference too. So,
yeah.
I always think about it's not the size of the dog; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things we can't control. But our guys just go in there and battle regardless of how big the opponent is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the program. A lot of people, when they think high school football, they just think of the varsity team. Maybe they'll throw the JV team in there, but there's so much more to the Camdenton program than just varsity and JV. I mean, you've got Little Hogs playing all the time. How do you run a program like that and keep a program like that going? Because it's pretty important to feed ultimately into the varsity team.
Yeah, the thing I would say is we have great commitment by the people involved, from the Little Hogs to our middle school program to our freshmen to our JV. All those people are sold to do everything they can to help our guys be successful in playing Laker football. And so it's that commitment by our community and the people in our community that say, hey, we're going to give our guys the best opportunity to prepare and go win.
And it's not just coaches, but it's probably parents too, right? I mean, because they play a huge part in this. Do you oversee that, or are there other people that oversee that? How does that work?
There's a board that oversees our youth football, both flag and tackle football, and then I oversee from 7 through 12 in terms of making sure that we're doing the right things and going about being organized the way you need to be organized.
Right. So you can keep your eye on a kid that might have some talent. They go, okay, this kid might be there in a few years, and kind of maybe coach them up and have them ready to go.
Yeah, just sort of giving them that dream to be out there on Friday, coming out of the Hog and doing all the things that they see when they go attend those games.
That is so cool. Okay. Coach Parpitt's Camdenton Lakers, big road game again this week on the road in Columbia against a really good Rockbridge team. We'll talk more about that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of our fall home sale, and what's that mean for you? Great discounts for every room of your house. We've got up to 50% off of list pricing. And we're going to give you interest-free financing for up to 24 months if you choose. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area. Come check us out, Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. Coach Parpitt's with us here. Camdenton Lakers coming off a nice win over Battle last week in Columbia. And you go right back to Columbia this week to play a really good Rockbridge team. I think they're 4-1. They lost their first game in like triple overtime. This is a good team.
Oh yeah, they're balanced. They've got a good running game. They've got an outstanding passing game. They've got a good quarterback, good running back, good line. You can look at almost every facet of their team, and they're quality for sure. And like you said, the only game they lost was the first week against Park Hills. But they played Helias last week and went into overtime and came out of that one with the win. So they are the leaders in the conference for sure.
Yeah, and we know how good Helias is because we just played them a couple weeks ago. Tight game through the first half. They got away in the second half, but that indicates how good they are. So what does Rockbridge do on offense that you guys will need to be aware of Friday night?
They do a ton of formations and movement or motions that sort of try to make you move along with them and get confused. And so we know we've got to be very simplistic in our game plan. They do like to throw it. I think their quarterback is a Division I signee.
Oh wow!
He's an outstanding talent, has been playing for several years now. And so we know he's going to be very accurate. He's a good leader. He did a great job last week against Helias in terms of leading their team. And so we know he's going to be something you have to deal with. They've got a good running attack. They got multiple people coming out of the backfield that can do some things. But we'll have our hands full in terms of what they're going to approach to us, but we just got to go out and play our base defense and get after it.
That'll be a good challenge. On the other side of the ball, on offense, what do you guys need to do to try to pull out a win on the road this week?
Well, we've got to sustain drives. We've got to be able to get first downs. The dynamic plays we want, but we have to get first downs so we can get some field position, and then we can also control the football. We need to run it effectively enough to get some first downs as well.
Yeah, and some good history between these teams. We talk a lot about the great football history of Camdenton over the years and the state championships and playing different places. Camdenton actually played Rockbridge, I think, for one of those state championships back in the 70s. Is that right?
Yeah, the first appearance in the state championship game, 1977, we played Rockbridge and lost 7-6.
Oh.
So it was a very, very tight game, and that's kind of the starting place for the history of those state championship experiences.
Yeah, that was Coach Bob Shore. You were too young to be on that team, right?
No, I wasn't on the team. 10 years later, I was on the team, but I was there watching it.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
You went to see that game.
Yeah.
They probably played that at in Columbia, right?
Yeah, at Faroe Field.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so Camdenton going into this one 3-2, about midway through the year. Are you happy with the progress so far?
Yeah, I'm happy with our growth for sure. We got to continue to do that because we want to be at our best week 10, and so I think we're on the right road there.
Fantastic. It's kind of hard to believe we're already midway through the season. It's flying by. So that's Coach Parpitt's big, tough game on the road at Columbia against Rockbridge on Friday night. So that is our COMC High School Football Coaches Show presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, also brought to you by Surdike Yamaha, MoDOT, Buckle Up, Phones Down, Hedges Scott, Millard Funeral Homes, and Slumberland Furniture.
Take Lake TV with you wherever you go. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.